could talk about who they're getting those wins against or whatever. And the one loss that Energy has on Overpass, I think, is actually to Team Liquid. So when they have lost it, it's to one of the other best teams in the region. So I don't know. I just think overall, when I really look at it, I just feel like Energy has overall better players than Rogue. That's not to take anything away from Rogue's players. I think Amon seems to be doing pretty well so far in his debut with this team. I think Sick does have some potential. I think Cadian is often underrated as an opper, but I would certainly take Cirque over someone like Cadian as far as rating oppers. And again, I just think Energy has a lot of talent with Breeze and Ethan as well. But no more speculating. We are now live into the pistol round here on Overpass. It's actually Rogue starting out on that CT side.
Let us begin. Yeah, and a lot of bathrooms control. Single player. Fugly is going all the way around towards long A. So they're going to just try and slight pinch into this site right now. And right now, the Rogue side, most part, are staying well on back. Though the first two players have fallen, being Guimon and Vice. And they have presence into the bank. And it looks like NRG aren't going to allow them to set up anywhere up here. Hiko defends. Takes the first. And right now, he's keeping two terrorists down in that bank. It's going to allow Cadian to come up and in with Sick, who's coming across the bathrooms as well. So all this space created by Hiko has earned a one-man advantage, and they've pushed the terrorist, that being Fugly left alone, way deep back into the bank. Ooh. That was well played by Hiko.
That was looking like it was going Energy's way the whole way through. Like, the execute was really good. You saw Start getting a couple of good entries. They were getting the bomb down. Everything seemed to be going their way, but, it was just kind of the patience of Rogue, kind of, not getting rattled, being able to kind of keep their composure and set up for the retake. And, Hiko, a big part of that with a couple of kills, steals around away from Energy, basically. Energy does get the bomb plant, so they will take a save into this round for the most part. They will sprinkle some upgraded pistols around, but certainly not committing any type of armor or utility or anything like that. So this should be Rogue getting a quick second round, but certainly the next round is going to be where the real focus is.
Ooh, there's a good dink early on against Guimon. He's forced to fall back. He'll allow a little bit of extra pressure to Cadian, but he'll take 3 down before he falls. And Guimon will just catch one through the smoke as well. So only Daps left. But to expand on what I was talking about in that last round, in the pistol round, Hiko recognized that the terrorists were pushing down the bank and chasing him. And he led them along with that carrot. Just said, yeah, come on down deeper, because the further he can pull those two terrorists back towards him, the more likely that, I believe it was Sick and Cadian were coming up bathrooms and long to give them space and give them a lot easier or soft belly for that A site. Instead of having terrorists staring them down too.
Yep, so now we do have Energy getting their AKs and utility, of course, some money for an AWP. And Energy, I mean, with Daps, he's always been known as like being a really in-game leader that really favors default, and just kind of, in this map, it would be like 1B, 1 stairs, 3 towards middle and A is kind of the spread, with Ethan kind of being their B player lately. But I have noticed that since Ethan's been on board, because they do have some aggro riflers, that they actually do prefer some faster 1-4 type plays as well, or just straight up 5-man quick executes on B. So I feel like on this particular iteration of Energy, Daps has been a little bit more prone to be a little bit more faster paced than in previous teams. So we'll see how that plays out now, as Daps has already spotted a couple players in connector, and he's found one. Might even get the second. He's definitely got Gamon in his crosshairs, but Gamon won't take the fight.
Vice pushes out long A right now as well to try and catch NRG staring down connector side, and he too gets punished. So a rough start for Rogue right now. Hiko does hear them coming across long A, and he's going to take this wider angle, and Breezy will be able to just shove him out of the way too. So you have Guimon to op and 6M4. 6 on site next to the sign, and Guimon's coming up the stairs right now. And NRG with a full minute to play. They're just sitting and waiting, because they just got a lot of alert that Rogue have been playing pretty aggressive on this round so far. So let them come. Let them continue.
Especially now, like, when you're a T team and you're in a 5-on-2, you know that a CT has to make a play if they want any chance of winning the round, unless they're just looking to save. And so holding out and just waiting for that, certainly the way to do it. And now they know where this op is. Gamon's going to try to save, but Energy, the thing is, they probably don't want to commit too many people chasing after this op, because their money is quite low, but they might send 1 or 2 after him. And yeah, there it is. Ethan was able to get a good angle, so no gun saved. Rogue will get reset now. Not too harsh. They still have enough money to put a buy together.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just wondering what they were actually going to be able to buy here, but seems like pretty decent except for Cadian.
Yeah, that was an early investment in an op. Third round right out of the gates, and nobody was able to make use of anything other than Guimond picking up that op and putting it to some use with only 1 kill. So, heavy investment. Now they're going to struggle with some utility here as well. M4s, but again, they play aggressive. 2 players right up to the fountain, and they'll be rewarded with 1. Now, Cadian holds the high side of the connector with merely a CZ. It's possible to be able to pick up 2 players, but I don't know at this level of gameplay. And they'll recover the bomb and start to tilt their way towards the B site, which is currently open for business.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, when I've watched Rogue play really any map, they do like to be very aggressive on their CT sides. Like to be very proactive on the map. And Overpass is a map that really lends itself to having a lot of aggressive options for CT teams, at least early in the round. Like, you can pretty safely push up towards Party, maybe get some peeks onto Fountain, and then you kind of slowly fade back as need be. Now, with all of that, since they went so aggressive on A, it's actually a wide open B bomb site basically for Energy for the taking, and they do get the bomb plant, so now Rogue has to play for the retake, but they do have the man advantage. They have a kid on Vice, so that gives them a little bit more time to work with.
Well, Daps is going to be Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragons pair, especially paired up with Ethan over there. And they're allowing the CTs to come in on those crossfire angles, forcing the peak wide. It is 2-on-2, so the entry for Rogue so far looking okay, but it's all relying on those early kills that they got. Ethan picks up another kill and survives at 8 HP, so Daps will boldly push through this smoke and chase Sick around the pillar. So he removes all that real estate, but pushing him ahead. I mean, the round was virtually over with where the bomb was ticking down at that point.
Oof. They almost lost those 2 AKs. The bomb almost exploded. That was pretty close. But they do get away with it. And again, that's just Energy kind of taking what they're being given. They feel all that pressure on A. They know that B is going to be vulnerable. They take advantage of that. And the biggest thing was maintaining control of short B in the post plant and denying that connector rotation from Rogue. That was one of the big things they really wanted to have to try to get the retake effort through. Didn't work out for them. Now they have to go for a full save. And again, they're looking to be aggressive towards A, though not as aggressive. They're more just kind of holding Bathrooms control with all 5 players and just hoping that one will run into this trap.
NRG are playing it perfectly. Sitting way back. They've seen a lot of CT aggression every round so far, so there's no sign of it changing. The weather's still blowing hard in their direction, and Rogue are going to continue to flip that coin and see if they can get NRG to run headlong into one of these stacks. Right now, they're all up in the bathrooms with Sick jumping for information across the wall in long A. NRG might be heading this direction.
Yeah, it looks like they might, in fact, run straight into the stack. Now, only 1 player has a CZ in this stack, so it's not like they have a lot of damage-dealing weapons here. And if they handle it carefully with their utility, they might still be just fine. Yeah, we do see Daps being able to kind of single out just 1 player based on the angle that he took. Cirque actually will push further and figure out the rest of the stack, but no problem just getting the kills. Just fine. Breeze is also able to get 1, and it is a clean round for Energy. Other than Breeze taking some damage, it was pretty much a flawless round, so I'm sure they're happy with being able to deal with an eco with ease. That's what you want to see.
Yeah. It's just smart from NRG, too. They know that they're up against an eco round. They choose not to use the smokes in the bathrooms to allow the pistols to get a little bit closer to you and give them a lot more viability. So I think the best look you had on that round was a CZ shooting at somebody behind tree at long, and it's a dream. It's a pipe dream. So you got El Clasico here. M4s versus AKs. Not even an A1S on the field.
Yep. Also, no kit, a little bit lacking on utility, but again, Rogue are able to push towards Fountain, and we actually have Cadian inside the playground. Will Breeze be here that quickly? No, definitely not, and Cadian will be rewarded for his aggression this time. Gets both of the players that were towards A. Instant 5-on-3 advantage for Rogue here. Now Energy have to try to figure out how to recover from this. They do have Cadian down low on health. They still have some presence. They have short B control. It's all about whether or not they can find these entries in the B site.
Oh, yeah. It's just wise for Cadian to get out of there and take what advantage they had early on. And Sick catches Fugly through Monster as well, so you're down to only Daps and Ethan. Eco's been smoked off. Toxic side. 6 down there. Finally, the first casualty of war for Rogue's rifles. And Ethan alone peeks out wide, rewarded with 1, but Guimond was in heaven, able to support that angle from Vice. So a 3-up scoreline now. And NRG are going to have plenty of cash to play with here. In fact, they can get an off if they choose, as opposed to Rogue, who cannot.
I would definitely expect to see it go in Cirque's hands. The thing is, Roki's being aggressive at A, and I know Energy likes to do aggressive B plays early rounds, so that would be the perfect counter to aggression A, is to just, while the rotation's far off from helping out B, just go ahead and attack it. But because they have an op in Cirque's hands, I feel like they might want to give him time to go for a pick, but I would be wrong. He's just going to be used as kind of a support op to back up what is going to be a fast B play. They want to counter that A aggression. They're getting in here.
Yeah, Hiko's got the first. Anybody give him support? They are. Iman's in heaven and Sick is watching the cross angle on the bridge. Hiko remains, all because these players are giving him a lot of help. The mollies burn and push Hiko downhill at least, where he was reduced to his sidearm. But that was all the support given to Hiko. Guimond in heaven, Sick on bridge. He was able to watch the heads cross the angle right there, just looking for the tops of the crowns.
Right.
And a lot of B presence rewarded with NRG playing fast in that direction.
It's unfortunate for Energy that basically Rogue decided not to play aggressive A. That's the first round they really haven't pushed A. So they actually kind of sat a little bit more back towards spawn itself. And obviously Overpass is a very quick rotation from CT spawn to the B bomb site, right, which is basically the A site itself. So that vertical rotation is very quick, and so Rogue was definitely able to get everyone where they needed to be. To keep Hiko alive at barrels and get some crossfires established, and really at that point it's all on Energy's raw aim. They didn't win their fights there. So good play from Rogue here the last couple of rounds. They've taken the lead back. They control connector here and now against a ecoing Energy.
I like this. It's interesting, actually, the way Rogue are playing right now. It's basically a big, I mean, they're a big mass ball on the map, making sure that nobody drops a rifle and hands it over. And that's classic to where the rifles or pistols that they're up against. Finally, Fugly actually gets 2. There was 3 men in the connector side. Fugly will recover one of these M4s, and it looks like he's going to round this corner. Vice, though, has gone towards the ladder, and Sick was watching just a keyhole through that door. And Dap survives at 4 HP, and looking at their economy, they'll end up with 3 rounds of loss bonus. It wouldn't matter if he loses this rifle or not. They'll be able to have a buy in the next round. So looking to do economic damage as Daps.
Yeah, for sure. Does at least force a lot of rebuys coming out of Rogue into this next round, which will keep their economy a little bit more limited. Certainly they had the money to afford buying this round, no problem, but if you catch them on a loss in the next, on your next buy, what your energy is about to get, you could get them right back into saving territory. We are going to see double op coming out here from Rogue this time around. It'll be Katie, and I'm sure taking it towards A as usual. Sick's usually a B player, so I guess he'll take it over there. The thing is, Gamon's also used to be an opper, so you could every now and then see him use it as well, but on this map, it looks like they want Sick to be taking it. Probably due to the positions they play. Both Gamon and KDM play A. Don't want 2 ops on A, so it might be a positional decision from Rogue as they go for some initial aggression, but now fade back to A site as Energy look to control connector. No B presence though. Vice actually will take that up, but they have lost a man on the Rogue side.
Vice in water now. I believe he has to climb over Sick's body in that direction. So it's a 2-2 defense. Guimond is coming down to the B site right now, and this is what Rogue have been doing so far. They've been stacking one side or another with rifles or pistols. Who cares? They're taking some pretty heavy gambles, and as it stands now, NRG are on a pretty decent pace for a T-half, but they would need to win this rifle round to keep that ball in the air, and they're going through Monster right now. There's nobody watching it directly. Guimond's on an off angle right now. He sees the mollies coming in. That molly's directed straight towards Hiko for Toxic. Daps is in and has the first. Ethan's able to get it under control as well, and the T's hold a big advantage for the time being, but Vice is on short, so there needs to be a smoke here to be able to choke him out.
And Vice trying to maintain control of short B. He's going to go check the pipe, and he'll be right to do so. He catches Fugly, and this evens the odds a little bit. And the bomb still hasn't been planted yet. Time is starting to get a little bit low. Now Cadian's caught a kill as well from up top. Now Breeze knows where both players are, but again, he's limited on time to play out this clutch. And he took a lot of damage from that fire, not expecting it to expand the way it did. 7 HP.
Did he see? I don't think he did, but he will go for possibly a bomb plant. 14 seconds. He didn't even fake that one out. So with 10 seconds, he'll stick it to the sandbags, at least earning a little bit of extra cash for the rest of the company. But Breezy has a big problem. Players front and rear. He'll take the first. Now he needs to spin around. He's got the pallets to give him cover. And he jumps to the high end. Breezy showing the mechanics He must have spotted the monster. He jumped across
yeah, I
monster
think he had a
early
good
on in that
idea
round.
someone was going to be flanking him from there, right? And the way he perfectly positions himself to use the default boxes to block Cadian off so he can take the 1v1 against the monster push, able to isolate into 2 1v1s. But the crazy thing is even though he isolates into 2 1v1s, you think he should still probably lose. He had 7 health. You could breathe on him hard and he would die. No pun intended on his name being Breeze there. But yeah, he just fights his way through it all. So a big clutch for Breeze in the 1v2. Puts the economic position of Rogue in a bad way, and they're going to go for the aggression again. This time, Energy is ready for it, though. They were already in the playground. They will welcome Cadian with open arms.
We'll see if NRG actually continue to play slow, because they've seen Rogue play aggressive every round. So, but right now, they're running straight down long, and they only break their stride as soon as they get within earshot of the bathrooms. And Rogue have decided they've waited long enough, especially with Guimond, who's pushed all the way through to top ladder now. Backside of Fountain, where Fugly is there to greet him.
He literally just started sprinting at just the wrong time. I think if he would have kept slow walking, I don't know that Fugly would have ever turned around, but he did eventually make some footsteps, and that gave just enough time for Fugly to pull the 180 and sniff out the flank. So on this point, Energy is well on pace to go ahead and tie up this game.
Yeah, Energy are reading this now. Since they had a long flanker come back and they were able to extinguish him, that, well, they probably rotated to the A site since they have some information. But that information is now aged and molded. So the B site's open, the bomb will be planted, and this head armor M4 would love to be saved. In fact, there's going to be a rifle that can be recoverable if they can get there, but they need to find some shelter on the map.
Yeah. Then we'll go get that AK into the hands of Sick. It'll be really only the 3 guns they have next round. So they have had a reset in the previous. Only 2-round loss bonus coming in. Most people are going to be just at like the low 2K range. So saving these 3 rifles would be huge for Rogue.
Oh, yeah, next round they're not going to have... I mean, 3 can buy for the 2. But that head armor especially is really crucial for them into the next. The hunt does begin. I mean, the money for NRG is not all that hot either.
Yeah, they're just using Ethan because he has the CZ. He doesn't really have much to save. But the other 3 did not want to commit those rifles towards chasing, and so everyone will kind of just stand back with the 3 guns they carry over from the previous round. But certainly Energy is still going to be better off. They can rebuy. They're 2 players. Rogue, all they can really do is put some upgraded pistols around these guys. Well, actually, Cadian's going to get a scout out of it, and they do wind up getting a 4th rifle out. So they buy down to their bottom dollar, and they do manage what's still a pretty decent buy. I mean, yeah, sure, Cadian would love to have an AWP instead, but all things considered, this isn't too shabby.
It just has to be a little bit more accurate. And he's posted up in the bathrooms looking for Breezy to make this peak, but a smoke from the T side's going to stop that up. And Cadian's going to fall back. And NRG just fan out. They make sure that nobody's going to be continually pushing aggressive. Ethan was initially watching towards Monster and Short Tunnel to make sure that nobody comes out there. And after about the minute and 25-second mark, he decides to pull back and join his brothers in arms.
And Dats is going to be leading the way. Dats is an interesting in-game leader. He's that guy that reminds me of like a lot of Danish in-game leaders, like a Glaive or an MSL, where he tries to set up his star player. He'll go in first and be that sacrificial lamb like MSL used to do for Config back in the day. He kind of does that for Breeze on this map.
Breeze.
Just trying to create that space for the rest of his riflers to shine through. But it'll be Cirque's op that leads the way this time. Dats actually just gets the straight-up entry, so there you go. That works too.
Even had the advantage of the shadow that was there, selling out the T's around in the bathroom corners. So he goes alone. The bomb's planted A, so no chance to win this round. I don't think Fugly actually heard that. He turns back towards blue door, maybe a little bit delayed brain lag, but he's staring it down now, so he must have. So Hiko saving this weapon's probably as best as he can get. All the while, NRG's economy is going to grow, and this is a really, really good T-half so far. If you're getting the 50% round mark, even as it stands, and it's going to improve from here on out, it's going to be a difficult second half for Rogue.
Energy is starting to get to that point where they're getting more rounds than Rogue are probably comfortable with allowing. Especially whenever you still have a few more rounds to play, and Energy is on pace to probably get at least a couple of more the way they've been playing so far. Especially when you consider Rogue's money. Like, there's a really good chance that this round just goes the way of Energy again, because I mean, they have the one rifle on Hiko, but outside of that, they don't really have the money to do much else than upgrade pistols around it. So Energy is really catching the break. I mean, outside of what Rogue winning pistol in the second round to follow, since Energy saved up to buy third round with the first round bomb plant, it's been pretty much the Energy show.
Oh yeah, yeah. We even saw Rogue having a double op setup that didn't work out for them either. So what can they do from here? Right now, their economy, you're right, it's been struggle bus. Oh, but look at the triple boost.
Nice.
They use that rifle to its advantage. Ethan will tell the team that, hey, there were 3 guys at least over towards the B site, but nobody was in a position to directly strike because Rogue had been playing so aggressive so often that NRG
and the problem is they can
passive.
Rotate so fast back to A through spawn, right? I mean, like the play state boosted, that's literally right on the stairwell to get back to A. But Hiko's going to get himself a second kill on Daps trying to be aggressive towards short B. This is going to buy a lot of time for Hiko to go ahead and rotate and help KD and Gamon at A. This is going to be very hard to break through if you're Energy.
You've got 3 rifles now, too. And all the while...
And 2 of them are armored.
Yeah, this is going to be a problem for NRG to hang on here. They need to expand off the site just a little bit at least. Cirque makes his way into the bathrooms. They still don't know where the extra player was. They're looking for Vice over here. He's actually just at the top of the stairs, the connector. And now the CTs have overwhelmed and overwatched the site. Still, though, NRG gets 2. Breezy's here with an AK, but he too gets floundered. It's 2-on-2 right now. NRG's holding for the time being. The bomb has been ticking with no kit. And they get them both. Sick and Guimond will clean up the bathrooms. And Rogue with, I mean, cheeky strats. The triple boost gets the first kill. Eventually, that rifle is picked up. Then they're able to pick up another kill on an NRG player that pushed in through short. So you just hand them 2 rifles. And at that time, NRG was playing so passive because of the aggression from Rogue every round. They weren't able to just, okay, we're already long A, we're already bathrooms, we see a stack in B, and snap into the A site. They didn't have that time.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you're just making the best out of a bad situation. Like, you know you only have this one rifle. Hey, what can we do that gives us a chance to win with this one rifle? And they go for the triple boost, and like you said, they collect a couple of rifles, and at that point, you've made the best possible play, and it's worked. Like you're one way in, and it pans out. So definitely around the Energy, you're probably a bit upset they've lost. They should have probably gotten that, but start off good here. Buckley already catching a kill inside connector. They could reset Rogue again right here, right now, and force them back into saving territory, then, or at least a couple of their players in saving territory. There's some money stored up on Sick and Cadian. But still, they can do with a good half here if they keep this up.
There's the molly designed for Hiko. He's forced to throw a smoke at his own feet. That'll at least let him relocate down to the backside of the pit. But NRG back up and possibly reset themselves while Rogue abandoned the A site. Cadian and Vice come downhill. They're going to go for a pop flash through here. Sick is starting to creep with Vice. There's the pop flash in the short. Ethan's out there, able to duck back and in, but Daps is going to get the over peek from Sick. And you're now down 2 men. And you're right, they continue to make these pushes where they try and make something of it, trying to recover from being a man down. Instead, it just digs a deeper and deeper grave. And here comes NRG into the site now. Vice as well as Hiko are pushed back to at least the bridge. And that's where they stand, down into the pit for Vice, but the whole site's now been clouded with smoke. And it's only Hiko, 1v2, as he finds finally Ethan and Fugly. Cirque jumps onto the high end, is able to swing right to left. And NRG take that 7th round, even though it was a little bit sketch coming into the site.
Yeah, it's one of those things where both teams were fighting for a connector control very early on in the round, and so you have one of those situations where you're going to have an instant clash as both teams want the same space early on in the round. Obviously, CTs like to control short because it gives you access for quick rotations, it gives you a lot of information. Obviously, if you get kills, all the better, you get a man advantage, but Energy really wanted it because they wanted to do some type of B split, and using connector to get into short B is a big way to do that, and they catch the kills, right? They're able to you know, out-trade in the connector area, and that really set them up nicely to take the round as they're looking to work quick over here at B. They know they're up against a little bit of a lower bot Rogue right now. They're not going to have the utility to really stop them from pushing out Monster and short B quickly, and Breezy and Cirque are leading the way big time.
It is all coming apart for Rogue right now. You got Hiko underneath. He's got one at range, nearly picks up the second one. Headshots Daps. Now this was a round Rogue invested really heavily in. They had UMPs, 2 ops, and a CZ, and that was it. They bottomed out the dollar bill, and they'll end up going into the last round with virtually nothing, unless they can save these weapons.
That's just a good economy read from Daps or whoever called that on the team. It's like, okay, we know that we've reset them. Yes, they have some money stored up because they stole a bunch of guns from us the round that they had just won, but they're not going to have a bunch of... They're probably going to have to skip out on Molotov and things like that, or incendiaries, rather, since they're on the CT side. And at that point, if you know CTs don't have a bunch of HE grenades or incendiaries to stop a push, it's kind of similar to Train when you're rushing outside, right? Like, you know, against a high-utility CT team, you can't really get away with that. You're going to get burned if you try to just rush T-Con into Outer. And it's the same thing with Monster on this map. Like, it's a great position to go ahead and push out of. But, you know, usually utility is what stops you from doing it quick. And there they knew that that wasn't a threat and able to roll it out. Plus, again, we know Energy likes to do fast speed plays on this map in general, just from watching their film from their online matches thus far with Ethan. And interestingly enough, in the last round, they're going to go double op setup, which is... Oh, never mind. That... Oh,
yeah.
He's juggling
he's ferrying it. Yeah. Just ferrying it forward, making use of it later. Actually, that could end up punishing NRG if there's a long flank that comes around and suddenly finds an arsenal, whether that be is an AK or an AWP. It's a win-win. Cadian's AWP is actually up in party right now. He's smoked out, so he can't see anything. But other than that, it's the same thing we've seen all game so long. Rogue are just looking for a stack and hoping for the best, either for NRG to run headlong into the armored wall, or they have at least some kind of retake potential. But right now, only Vice with the kit, and he's in the most vulnerable position, that being right on the threshold of Monster.
To be fair, I have seen plenty of VP multi-frag with the CZ from that very angle, so it's actually tricky. I mean, you get lured into walking forward because there's no utility to stop you, and then you get caught by the off angle. And there is, in fact, Vice, who's already gotten the CZ kill. We'll use a smoke to grab the AK. Doesn't even take that much damage from the grenade in doing so. That does give Rogue a man advantage, and it gives them another weapon to use they didn't have previously. So their chances of winning this round have jumped up a little bit.
Quick read from NRG. There's a pistol on B side. Maybe it's a B stack. They run right towards the A side. Sick jumps up on top of the trash can with his UMP. He'll be covering the backside of Cadian, but he can't hang on. Now Cadian has to solo defend. Nearly was able to flick across on Breezy, but now the B team has to rotate up to help Guimond. He's got a UMP, and a fresh smoke here actually gives him some room. He'll be pushed, and Guimond is able to separate the terrorists with their own smoke. Only Dash is here, and Guimond has a weapon that he's comfortable with, but Hiko gets that last frag anyways. That smoke was so fortunate for Guimond.
Yeah, it really was. Also, he got like the shadow advantage on the guy who came up the stairs, so he was able to pick up on that, and the new one was inside the smoke still, so just really good play from Guimond. Like, playing safe as he needed to wait for time, but then, again, was able to use that angle to get a couple of key kills, and so it is going to be 7-8 from Rogue in the end from their CT side. But again, still plenty of rounds you have to feel like from Energy on their T side. I'm sure they'll feel pretty good about how the half went. As a reminder, folks, here at halftime, we do have a giveaway going on from the iBUYPOWER guys, so be sure to look down below. There's a couple of images for a rig competition as well as the grand giveaway, so do be sure to click on those and get yourself entered in for some free stuff, including a PC that is valued at around 1,600 USD. So, again, free stuff. Go ahead and support the people who support the scene by throwing regular tournaments, as iBUYPOWER has been doing several online events every year since 2015. So 3 years now. They've done at least 2 or 3 online cups plus a LAN at the end of the year. So it's cool to see a consistent partner supporting the esports side here of CSGO. So yeah, give your support back, I would hope, as we should be getting live for the second half here pretty soon. Just waiting for everyone to ready up.
Anyways, man, how was your St. Patty's Day? Did you celebrate?
I did nothing. I did absolutely nothing. I casted with you yesterday for a couple of best of threes, and I went to the gym, and that was it. That was my day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went and
watched some demos to prepare for today.
Wow, that was it. A responsible adult.
A responsible adult, exactly.
I went and karaoke'd for way too long. Only like halfway through the night, I'm like, I should probably not damage my voice.
Yep. There you go.
A lot of fun. Anyways, the second half begins. NRG with the 1-round advantage and the CT side map advantage now to themselves. So they did most of their homework early on, and now should be able to turn it in early, as Rogue are a little bit on the back foot here. Hiko playing support, of course, has a smoke set for upper bathrooms possibly, but he'll turn and maybe catch somebody coming through monsters, what he's thinking, while Cadian's on short. They're looking to see if NRG are going to play aggressive as well, like their pistol round was.
All this kind of quiet for now. Cadian's holding a little bit of an aggressive angle here towards short B, but everyone else is kind of just fading back into default positions, anticipating some type of CT aggression. There's a smoke and a flash on Hiko. That's their main utility to use for an execute. Could be used at the smoke heaven and then just flash over as they push out monster. Or could use it on the site by sidewalk to block anyone peeking from graffiti as they plant. But they'll just dry peek in and they will pay for it. Cirque waiting at the barrel is good for a couple of kills. Fugly also chiming in. That's all on Vice already.
He's got pillar, but he's got no control. And there's, of course, a kit included, so if he even does plant the bomb, holding on for long enough would be an impossible task. NRG take the pistol round and start off on the right foot as Rogue. They're going to get put into that awkward position soon enough, I'd say within the next 4 or 5 rounds where, well, we're too far behind at this point. We're going to have to make some force buys. And
exactly.
Yeah,
and to be fair, this is the side you want to be on if you do get put into that situation. That's kind of where I like starting CT side first, no matter the map, because it's easier to force buy on T side. And then when you're in the second half, you know how many times you're going to need the force buy to get back into the game a little bit better.
Yep.
So I think that does help out a little bit when it comes to how you handle your economy and things like that.
Well, Rogue right now are all stacked up through the bathrooms with appears to be Vice to watch the backside to make sure that nobody works a flank in. Cadian spots one jump across on the sandbags. No real information gained. I think Cadian was the only one to be spotted out there as well. So both teams will just hold on to their defaults as it stands now for a second round. Pistol armor purchase for Rogue. Into the bathrooms, they find nothing. I mean, this is like night and day comparatively to CT defenses between NRG and Rogue.
Yeah, they're just looking to play back into the sides, play discipline, try to take long-range fights. They want to get up close on some CZs or some pistols. You want to try to take fights at range as best as you can with your M4s.
Here comes the execute.
Yep.
Some light smoke coming in. Cirque's able to pick off Guimond on first entry. Flashbangs as well. Just stopped everybody. And another flashbang. As Sick gets one, but again, Cirque will continue to make T's pay. Cirque with a third, I believe. And yeah, he'll get a full house between Cirque and Daps 3 and 2. 7 to 10, the force buy not successful. So no bomb plants in those first 2 rounds either. It means that Rogue are going to have to bow out for another round.
Yeah, they're going to have to take the full save here. The force buy to not pan out. And again, no added money from a bomb plant. So this should be a pretty standard mop-up for Energy on their way to 11 rounds. And then that's where some real Counter-Strike begins again once Rogue can start making their purchases.
Same strat as before. This time, Cadian though has the bomb. Actually, he could completely overshoot the CTs. Of course, that's only information that we have, and now you viewers have as well. But there was a slight window of opportunity to be able to exploit. Not without the rest of his team though. Everybody else is just sitting at top ladder and connector area, making sure that. Let's see if they can peel off one of these weapons from the CTs early.
Yeah, again, they're hoping that someone from Energy is going to overstep their boundaries and extend right into the stack that Rogue has over towards Connector, but that's not going to be the case. Energy are actually doing a great job just maintaining a really big piece of real estate on this map. Controlling short B is almost like mid-control on other maps in some ways. Like, it allows so much access controlling this in Connector to rotate between the sites and just get a bunch of information. And they're going to break through the squeaky door, and Breeze is going to dispatch of most of them along with Ethan. And again, we weren't expecting much from this round, so we got what we thought we would. And it's going to be 11-7 for Energy now.
Yeah, 2 kills, but I believe the only things they lost there was a UMP and definitely an MP9. So nothing of real value lost. Water under the bridge, or under the overpass. But Rogue not off to a great start with their pistol plus, but now they've got AKs. They need to get a bomb plant in here just so they have some kind of consistency to their T side. And already NRG having as healthy rounds that they've had so far, basically the only weapons they lost were those SMGs, and they've replaced those and put rifles in their positions, and including an AWP. So Rogue now going to use a smoke to slug him off, and Cirque will surf. He surfs right into the wave of terrorists. He'll take one. Ethan survives at 6 on the retreat, while Daps comes in through the blue door and backstab. 100% perfection as far as NRG is concerned coming into that short side. They give a little rope-a-dope one way and then the other. Cadian is left confused.
So the obvious thing that happened there was the crazy up-close AWP by Cirque, right? I think that's what people will take away from. But what you also need to take away from that is the utility usage that happened there. It's really subtle, but it made a huge difference. Rogue was looking to Molotov short B, deny Energy access to being aggressive on short B themselves. They know Energy's been trying to go aggressive short B every round thus far. They wanted to deny that, take it for themselves. It's a really good Molotov to use. You can throw basically from spawn. But Energy smoked it immediately, or actually I think they already had a smoke on short B to block it, and that allowed them to get in the short B. I think they also had utility on the pipe as well to do some damage and slow Rogue down. And so it was just beautiful counter utility from Energy there. Like, yeah, Cirque hit the crazy shot, but the utility that got him there was really vital. And now they have Rogue back onto a mixed buy.
How bold is it to take an AWP and commit it to short that hard? Into this round they go. Actually, Fugly gets overwhelmed, only able to get one. Cirque actually misses his primary target, his Cadian in the background. And I think he'll hit another one and leg the next one with a single shot as well. So it's a 2-on-3. Decent round so far for Rogue if they can get a bomb planted. But he goes running out of real estate, especially with a Molotov licking at his heels. Default being mollied out. I believe that molly came from bouncing it off the windshield of the Optimus truck. Lands next to Default.
Yeah. And to go back to your point about Cirque, by the way, he's one of the most dangerous operators competing in our region right now. You know, certainly, like, Fallen's always been considered like a pretty solid operator, and we know the SK team's struggling in general, but still a very skilled AWP player. A couple of other AWPs that can be really good, like Cloud9 houses a bunch of hybrids who can use it really, really well, and Skadoodle had a good major. But for me, Cirque is probably, I don't know, he might be one of the best operators competing in our region, if not the best.
He just ran straight through and surfed for a quick peek.
He's so aggressive, and he's really good. He has that swagger, that confidence you want an AWP to have that can have early impact and, like, get you picks on either side of the map. I think that's a big tool that Energy has. He's a really key piece of this team. You combine him with Breeze and Ethan, and you have all of a sudden, like, a pretty nice trio of fraggers.
So I just saw what develops afterwards if there's no T aggression in short. Cirque will position himself up and stare at the blue door while a grenade blasts that door open, and he's staring straight through connector. So you were talking earlier about the CTs getting short control. They're also picking up a little bit of connector control out there as well with the same movement. And it's risky. It's putting your neck out on the chopping block a little bit. But Rogue haven't been able to take a good shot at that yet. And so NRG are just going to continue to gobble up a little bit of pieces of territory. One weakness they do have right now is long A. They have no presence there.
And this gets scary. If you're a T team and you constantly lose control of short B, it just limits your options so much. You know, like, you're basically forced to either fight to take it back or make plays on A. So yeah, and then it makes it way easier for Energy to rotate as well, having control of that. So it's just a lot of odds get stacked against you if you keep losing that. But they're gonna make their way up long A and get a pick on the site. So this might lead to a plan at least.
It does. Without that long control, take advantage of it. Sick and Hiko both pair up for a couple frags. Cirque now picks up one and goes past the Molotov, so he'll now sit behind Optimus' truck. All the while, Breezy will be coming up the stairs as well, but right now Cirque is alone on the site. Molly is extinguished, and Breezy has arrived, but your post plants are looking pretty strong, having long control as well as bathrooms control doubled up. They'll touch the bomb once. Breezy does not stick it. They're looking to see if any of these players peek. And they will, but Breezy's blinded in the midst of his spray, and Guimond will be able to survive for the time being as well, making things impossible for Cirque, no matter how good you are as an opper. And Rogue get their first T round.
Yeah, it's big plays from Guimond, being able to get that entry onto A, getting the final frag of the round as well. Also big on Rogue, I think they caught a flank pretty early, up connector into the bathrooms. Which would have maybe even stopped the bomb plan, actually. Like, the way that guy was angling up, he may have prevented it, and instead, Rogue catches onto and ensures the bomb does go down. They control, you know, a big piece of the map that you need post-plant to ensure it goes all the way through. So a big victory for Rogue. Keeps them still in the race here in the second half of Overpass.
Just don't want to get reset. That is going to be the nail in the, or at least the home stretch for NRG at least. And then it would just be an easy one to finish off. Cirque spotting the T's, shoulder peeking long right now. He'll re-peek as well off to the right side of the wall. Now jumping for information. He'll spot a couple more. This would be brave for him to re-peek. He thought about it just for one tick of the server and then decided not to. And it's good that the NRG have made that correction. They had some long presence here. Even though they fired a shot and it missed, or they spotted that the Opera was there, Rogue probably don't want to take that long aggression without having some kind of pop flashes. And still, even then, there's so many places that Op could be out there that it's going to cost you a body at least.
Yeah, we do see the terrorists just kind of slowly working up long A again. They're trying to get a little bit of control as well. Circus holding the angle, though, on Connector. We'll catch the first person that comes up, probably for free, unless they do some type of pop flash or he resets at some point. Oh, he just straight up misses. Okay, not a common thing to happen to Cirque in those situations. He's normally really good to hit some of those kinds of shots.
He fired a blank, too, and he can't make the cross. Greedy to come across the open angle on Optimus Truck, and Sick and Guimon, especially Guimon, comes through that lurk smoke at long A. And it's only Breezy and Ethan left, so Rogue only losing Vice so far. Sick limping along as well, but the round is over. NRG are going to be forced to save back, even after winning 5 rounds in a row, then dropping these 2. Of course, their economy is going to get crushed, and having 2 M4s in the next round might be enough to bait you out for a couple pistols and armor. But I think they've earned it to be able to take a small risk like that. They've got a 5 now to be 4-round lead.
Yeah, I think that round does really hinge on the fact that Cirque missed at least 1 kill he definitely should have had. And instead, he doesn't even get away either. Like, yeah, it's okay if you miss, but you're able to reset, get back into the site, and set up to fight another, another day, so to speak. But he just caught in the back and doesn't get any kills, and it's just kind of a nightmare at that point. Rogue decides to just give up on trying to do anything towards B and just really focus on getting control of Connector into middle and working up long A again. It's kind of the counter, I guess you could say, to kind of like Energy countered the aggressive A by going B a lot. Rogue is trying to counter the aggressive B by going A a lot. So it's the reverse, and that time they caught Cirque out in the open with an AWP, and that did wonders for them. And now they have Energy in a really tough spot.
Yeah, they don't actually buy up into that pistol armor. Instead, they keep their money level across the playing field. And they hope that these guys run into the M4s. And Daps is able to hit a headshot and then maybe even a couple body shots to Hiko. Drops him to 70, but Guimon took the brunt of that one. Breezy, though, is working the flank with this M4. They're going to make something with this. Maybe they don't check this angle, or Breezy just checks it himself. Shows his lower body. Ethan's up there as well towards the fountain. But this is all the rifles that they have. Don't want to sacrifice these so far away from any of the sites.
Ethan just holding on the fountain solo, so he has all the information on A side of the map, and this allows Energy to focus up everyone else towards B. Unfortunately, it's focused up 3 USPs, so with no armor. So it's not as if this is the firepower you really want to be trying to defend against this. If anything, I think they should be surrounding the rifle, but we'll see what Ethan can do individually. He's crafty. He's coming through Connector. He gets caught, though, right away, so this is in the books.
It's tough to make something out of nothing. Single M4. Lost that other M4. Possibly NRG were reading that they were setting up in short. You had a lot of presence in the B site with those 3 USPs, and the 2 M4s were working the flanks, so they must have thought, since they have full B control, that they're either coming up through Connector or they are setting up for a B strike. So they flip that coin, and it turns out the T's are coming up the direction back towards them with so much time on the clock. So maybe, I think, waiting in that position just outside that left threshold of T ramp and chilling out for a little bit, waiting for maybe the 30-second mark to eclipse. If nothing comes your direction, then fine. You earned all that map control. There's only so many places that can execute on the map, more likely than not to the B site.
Yeah, so Rogue are starting to build up a little bit of something here. They've won the last 3 rounds in a row, excuse me. They're just 3 rounds away from Energy tying things up, and Energy's money is not really in the best place. They're kind of in a buy-save rotation at the moment. So if they lose this round, they're right back to saving again, probably. And that's where Rogue can really get this within 1. So if Energy want to make this easier on themselves, so to speak, and maintain their lead and hold Rogue off from making this close, they need to win this round here and now. Meanwhile, Rogue are really working on something here. They're getting some good production out of most of the lineup. They're starting to work around Energy's aggression towards short B. Getting a lot of success on A. Gamon's really been good on getting some entries over there. This time they're going to focus up on, again, just kind of getting control of Connector, moving up into middle, bypassing B altogether, and just trying to do something similar to what we've seen the past couple of rounds.
And Fugly's in this one and done position unless Cirque can bail him out of a pretty rough situation if those T's do wrap the bathrooms as well as wrap that smoke that's there. It looks like the smoke is wrapped. Pico falls as well. Now, Fugly, I was saying, is one and done, but he's still alive at 5 HP and is actually ahead of the curve, so he overshoots, but Fugly shot at the blood splatter or a dead body over there, so it sells his position, but he has reinforcements that came up through the connector anyway. It's only Guimont and Cadian, now Cadian alone, to do a lot with very little. 4 players out in front of him. The bomb is out there too, so he has to stretch his neck out just to grab this one.
And he's going to be done for. And that does come down to the fact that Cirque and Fugly trade better. You know, Cirque and Fugly basically traded 2-for-1 instantly, and then the big addition to that is the fact that Fugly stayed alive. He was able to run through bathrooms back towards connector where his team was already flanking through B from, and just kind of hold that. So what could have been a really bad one-and-done situation where Cirque and Fugly both go down and A is wide open for the taking. Instead, Cirque, you know, smartly kind of peeks after Fugly takes first contact and is able to make sure that his team stays ahead of the curve. So a big win for Energy. They're now up 14-10. They avoid a low-money situation again, and now they're going to get aggressive on A.
They're running straight into the middle, but you've got Cirque as well as another that ran out. I think that's Fugly that ran out and overshot those terrorists that were coming across towards bathrooms. So they play this counterclockwise rotation near Fountain, and it's 3-on-2. And the movement from Fugly is good enough, but he can't quite hit one more bullet on Sick, maybe 2. Only Breezy's left. He's got a flash coming his way, a second flash, as well as the bomb makes its way, rotating as well towards the B site. And you've basically got Vice and Hiko, who are at short and as well coming up the stairs, or at least choking off these lower tunnel sides to make sure that Breezy can't really do much of anything.
Yeah, and then unfortunately for Energy now, they've been reset, so they're going to be back onto a save next round. And this is where Rogue can go ahead and get to 12, pretty much for free. And again, keep setting up this comeback effort we've been seeing from them in the second half, as they have won, you know, 4 out of the last 5 rounds after a 5-round losing streak, which, again, 5-round losing streaks can be pretty misleading at the beginning of a half, because, you know, 3-0 start, because you lose pistol, you lose opening gun round, your money's in the bin, and then you have to really work your way back. And since they have gotten their money in order, they've been really good. They've been getting some big rounds. Obviously, that time catching Energy's aggression on Fountain and really handling it well. Sick, a big part of that. And so they're keeping this map competitive.
So what do you think they change here with a timeout? Because last round we just watched
nothing
that.
this round, unfortunately.
Well,
but I think it's about maybe letting Cirque a little bit free with the AWP. You know, instead of pushing a bunch of riflers Fountain, maybe just let Cirque take some aggressive peeks over towards Party or something with the AWP. I think they should keep doing the short B stuff. It's working really well for them. They're denying Rogue a lot of options controlling short B, so I think you maintain that. That's been fine. I think it's just about how you manage the A side of the map, and I think that Cirque with this op needs to get a little bit more crafty, which they should be able to afford next round. So that's what I would say.
Yeah, this round is just kind of a toss away. USPs stacked up over towards the B site. I think even I heard a knife. Daps. That's one of those, like, how did I end up stabbing my teammate? Look, there's a blood splatter in front of Daps and Ethan. Like, I don't know how that happens. That's Ethan's blood that's way to his left. Knife hitboxes. Strange.
Yep,
so eventually, Rogue find out, just using information in slow game. They sat way back towards T-Ramp and Fountain and just chilled for a while. And now they're just going to creep and crawl their way into the A site and realize, hey, it's a B stack. We're looking pretty.
Yeah, no one went bathrooms, so I guess there is still, in their mind, a risk that someone's just stacking inside bathrooms, but yeah, they will go ahead and get the bomb planted at A. You notice they plant 4 bank as well, because they're not 100% sure that bathrooms are clear. Either way, they're going to want to win this round, as Sick is already pushed towards Heaven, and will be cutting off any rotations CT try to make towards A through this area. At this point, I mean, Breeze is a deagle that's worth saving, but otherwise, I think it's more about just making sure Rogue doesn't get more money for kills. It's not like they're going to be able to rotate back and get any guns down with USPs.
Well, they get 2 rounds of loss bonus out of this. Your cheapest player right now, Ethan, at 1,400. Yeah, I mean, he's not going to have much.
It's also, they might think that Rogue has an SMG, and they don't want to give the money bonus over to them. So,
Saving
I know a lot of
USPs.
people will be like, why they're saving USPs? Now, it's more about just denying money to Rogue more than anything.
Yeah. So, like I said, your cheapest player has it was Ethan. He's got a weapon donated to him, that being an M4. And they have an op on the field. Daps, though, is going to be suffering from this one, considering he's the guy that hands out all the love. Rifles and an op. So this is a pretty big round for NRG. This very well could be the tie for Rogue. Rogue have enough cash saved up that if they lose this round, NRG get the 15th, they'll be able to keep the pressure up. But it's a very fast play. With a flashbang and a Molotov, Daps has nowhere to go, but it was just the CZ. His death may be very well good enough for just information. Ethan's got the first, and the flashbangs are keeping Rogue wiping their eyes out there. They need to get those rifles downrange, just like Sick. Finding Ethan on the back end of that, but the bomb has been tumbled into the site, and Cadian's last up. And that was all or nothing. There was no baiting going on there at all for Rogue's side. Everybody's in, all for one, one for all.
Yeah, again, I think that's Rogue just kind of thinking, okay, Energy probably won't have a lot of utilities. Let's just rush Monster. They won't really be able to incendiary it or nade stack it. Similar boat to what we saw in the first half from, you know, Energy when they were on T side. Just really good that Energy went for the dismount I thought they would. They had an op in Cirque's hands. They let him dictate the pace at Egg, and then that allowed them to stack 3 players towards B. And despite Gamon getting a nice early entry, which was really brilliant by him, you know, Energy had, you know, reinforcements there right away, able to trade better. Fugly and Breeze, huge work with the rifles, and now they are at map point on their pick of Overpass. Again, this was the pick of Energy. Rogue picked Nuke, which will be our second map. Third map will be Mirage if needed. We do see Rogue looking to just control bathrooms and maybe work something heavy towards A this time around.
We've seen Fugly here before. Last time he's been here, though, it's been support. At least to his bathroom side, nobody was watching, so Guimond doing what Guimond does best. Finding that little weakness and just prying it open single-handedly. Daps with the CZ, he's not going to be able to do anything either. Instant save call for what remains being Breezy and Ethan, and they've gotten, what, 2 rounds in the past 8. 2 in the past 8, and those have not been consecutive, so their economy suffers greatly.
Absolutely. Saving these 2 guns is massive for them. They really need it, but there's certainly money out on Rogue, so they will be on the chase. There's no doubt about that. Unfortunate round for Energy. They actually pushed Monster and know that B is clear, so Daps was able to rotate A early, and they were going to have 3 on A for the attack, but Gamon's entries, again, just so clean. And Breeze doing his damnedest to save a rifle here, but Hiko will be able to catch him, so no guns come over. No real money on Energy. They're going to have to take a save here. Likely means Rogue will push this to 14 on their end, and then it'll all come down to one final round, whether or not we see OT or whether Energy can win in the closest margin of victory possible in regulation.
So I like this, actually, the setup for Rogue. They lost a couple players there, and they have plenty of cash on hand, and they have an opportunity to buy an op if they so chose. But buying an op here gives NRG an opportunity to gain an op, you know? If there's no op purchased, NRG are never going to have the money to be able to afford one themselves. So if worse comes to worse, that would be a situation. So Rogue having the foresight, you know what, just everybody stay on AK right here. And we'll just see if we can walk over. Nice double kick from Fugly. That was gorgeous. But only Breezy's left. And there you go. Only losing Guimond. Now you might see the op purchase and hand it into Cadian's hands this round.
So that was the wipe that we anticipated, but it all comes down to this. Energy buy what they can. One last effort to win without extra rounds needed. It's going to be 4 FAMAS on the field and the 1 M4 on Cirque. They do have some utility. They are lacking a kit, though, so retakes are going to be strained. They're going to have to keep that in mind throughout the rounds. Maybe try to go for more earlier engagements and try to really deny bomb plants more than trying to play for retakes, unless they can maintain a man advantage. So yeah, this is it. This is the one.
So the timeout, cool everybody's nerves, calm down, mental reset. Really, it just helps out both teams. At least when it comes to college ball, like if I remember UK basketball back in the late 90s, there was this like full court press and really aggressive style basketball where you don't allow your opponents to rest ever. You don't take a timeout, force them to take their timeouts. And I would actually like to see Rogue just, if that was the call, just chill. Let them sweat this out. Look at Fugly. Aggressive to Fountain. Now, Cirque is here. He is undetected. Now he's been spotted by Cadian out there. He's got a lot of health. Hyper-aggression from the CT side has been dominated. 4-on-2 now. Breezy and Ethan are left with merely Famai against a full setup of AKs. And it looks like we're going into overtime, unless Breezy can manage to pull the rabbit out of the hat.
Did you just say Famai? It's really throwing me.
I love calling him Famai when it's in plural. You know, you got more than one.
It's not how it works, though.
Like cactus, cacti.
That's just Famas.
No.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Yeah, no, it's I've looked at the way it actually is. Famas is, or I have to go look at the manufacturer of that weapon. But yeah, it just sounds like cactus to me. Cacti, plural. You know,
I can't do this.
I do it, man. That's all me. I'll take the angry hate mail for it all day.
Oh, good. So yeah, we will have the overtime coming in. I don't know if we've had another overtime actually throughout this tournament. I know yesterday all the series were 2-0s. I don't know that we ever had any OTs involved. So this is a tight race then when you think about it. And also both halves were 8-7 halves as well. So it wasn't as if someone just really just dominated one of the halves, like a big CT side, and then someone came back and had a big CT side of their own. No, it's been a bit of a back and forth.
Yeah, it is. Really, NRG just could not. I mean, the cylinders were there. The spark plugs just weren't firing. Like every now and then they got a round, and it was a pretty rough round, heavy casualties, and their economy just couldn't get off the ground. Just stuck to the deck, and Rogue took advantage of that situation. It's just Rogue. I mean, if this game was just a shade longer, instead of being first to 16, if it was first to 18, I think Rogue ended up taking it because they had all the momentum at the end of that game.
Yeah, definitely towards the end. I mean, they won, what, I think like 8 of the last 10 rounds to make sure we went to overtime. Like, Energy was fitting just around here and there to stay afloat, to stay in it, and not wind up losing, actually, in regulation. So that is that's big stuff for them. So, again, just to remind you folks, down below we do have some giveaways going on. Be sure to go check out the underlay. Click those images, get involved in the giveaway. There you go. We should be getting live with the overtime here real soon.
Yeah, huge shout out to the sponsors that make this possible, especially with that giveaway that's going on. Intel, Western Digital, Microsoft, Samsung, and Radeon, of course, making this tournament possible, especially with the opportunities that gamers can, or viewers can extrapolate on and be like, hey, you know what, I'm going to win a computer. So explain how OT goes here. Is it MR3 10K, 16K?
I'm not sure, actually, because this is the first one we've had this tournament, so I'm not sure if it's 16K or 10K. 10K, 10. Okay. So MR3 10K, so economy does matter if you lose the first 2 rounds of the half, especially if you're on CT side, you could get burned on the final round, so you do have to be careful about how you manage your money. And again, of course, it is a race to 19. We go 18-18, we do it all over again. Same MR3 10K format.
Yeah, CTs can suffer from this. Not so much the Ts. Unless they go heavy op, NRG's currently sitting just a single. However, when we switch sides, if it ends up getting to be where Rogue are kind of on a short leash, they could go very well double op with Guimond, Cadian, pulling those out. But right now, Rogue are pushing up towards short. There's currently a Molotov there that they're not willing to commit a smoke for. They know how aggressive NRG has been early on in that CT half, of putting Cirque straight in, just surfing across that angle and putting the op into a shotgun mode at point-blank range.
Yep, so here we go. It looks like Rogue is looking to do some short B control of their own. This time Energy not going for it. And Sick has also already found a pick at A. This is massive. It's forcing people to think about rotating off of B. It's keeping the 2 A players in place. And this is really providing a big opening for Rogue to push into B right now. Look at Ethan. He's already off of it. It's all on Breeze at this point.
And Breeze is in a spot where he can't take cover. I mean, if they execute in here, he will be overwhelmed. There's nowhere left to hide. He'll take this trash side on the bridge, a 1-for-1 trade right there, and the site belongs now to Rogue. So that early push from Sick made so much space. And how does Cadian survive that? Fugly stopped shooting because he was certain that he was dead. like Ethan picks up a kill at range, possibly up from heaven. Fugly's going to be coming across the graffiti side. It's even strength right now, but the CTs are down to a single flashbang. This bomb ticks away. Nice shot from Fugly here. The flashbang over and to his left. He'll take the next one as well. Only Hiko 1v3. Everybody's got plenty of utility. In fact, they pick up more flashbangs off the corpses, and Hiko has to turn away right as I believe he saw Daps. He'll get hit by Fugly.
How do you lose that if you're Rogue? That's so ridiculous. And Sick got the opening pick on A, as we talked about. Massive impact on the round. Forces Ethan to rotate. Forces Breeze to play B alone. Breeze only gets 1 kill while he's alone on B. So at that point, Rogue is looking really, really good. They're in a 4-on-3 situation. They have a completely empty B bomb site. They're planting, have numbers for the post plant, and then they still toss it. You know, really good play from Fugly. Give credit where credit's due. He multi-fragged that round and really helped Energy through to get back the round. But if you're Rogue, you have to be thinking to yourself, that was ours. Like, that should have been ours all day long.
Everything was perfect for them to be able to win that round. I mean, Sick just held W all the way down long A, and I think he got there so fast, NRG thought that it must be an A strike, a really fast A strike. So they pulled their players out of the B site, leaving Breeze alone. But still somehow got a retake to work. And Rogue chill. I'm going to take a break right now. They boost up on top of the slide in the playground looking for anybody on aggressive. Fugly is ducked in behind the rock right now. He does have support as well by Cirque, who's up and above on top of the wall. And they're very
this is a great bait setup right here.
But
Cirque takes first contact. Fugly can swing out, get more.
But they need, I mean, Rogue are going to need a flashbang coming into long. If they do this dry, they are in for a world of hurt.
They go for the run boost instead. Cirque still hits his shot, but they do catch on the Fugly up close. So that goes about as well as it could for Rogue, given the bait setup that Energy had in place.
Yeah, Rogue are happy with that. Even trade, and your CTs have to split your defense between A and B. Sure. Just consolidate your forces.
Ice is already
right
out
now,
Monster as well, by the way. He gets a pick
that.
onto B. That's huge.
That's similar to how Sick was playing. Aggressive on long A. This time through Monster. We'll see if anybody moves, though. It looks like concrete in the shoes for NRG. They chill. Sit and wait. Ethan is ultra passive on B as opposed to how Breezy was doing it in the last round. But they're still down a man. No matter how you look at it, especially with your splitting of defense. Ethan can hear them coming across short right now, so he'll call for reinforcements, but can Ethan hang on long enough? All this utility coming in. Ethan's got the first, and a quick shot from Hiko will stop him, and they maintain the man advantage. Just trade evenly from here out, and you'll be fine. Oh, that smoke from Hiko. It hits the railing. Or no, it actually hits the top of the threshold. Hiko been going to the gym.
The Daps and Cirque just looking to see what they can do here. They did win the first round, so they do have the money to just go ahead and go for this, despite the fact it is a 2 versus 3. Now make that just all on Cirque, 1v2 with low HP, and an op working his way in slowly. He does have a kit. Gives him a little bit extra time, but Sick holding an angle will take him out, and so Rogue do come back and get this one this time. Again, like you said, a similar story. They get a pick on the periphery of the map, which gives them a man advantage, and you know, really sets them up nicely. This time they capitalize on it. Close, and now it's tied right back up at 16 all.
Yeah, that's how that first round should have played out. You're right. It was just very, very similar. It was just opposite directions. So Rogue tie up the board, 16 all. And Cirque and Fugly go for at least a party peek. See nothing again. Looks like Rogue are already setting up. Doesn't look like, though, that NRG are going to continue to press that issue. With it being overtime right now, I know they're the last round of the first half of overtime. The money's not a threat, but you don't want to give that early frag to Rogue. They'll be able to exploit it just as they did in the previous round. Nobody's watching Monster directly. And here comes Rogue, screaming their way in through the front smoke on Monster. Nobody's here quite yet. Daps will throw a molly that lands just to the left side of the pillar. And Rogue are a little bit timid about coming up to the high end of this one. They've now been smoked off. And you basically have a north-south split. Yimond and Vice are trying to come across the top of Toxic, looking for the angle across. Daps, who's still on site. He's traded, but gets 2 kills before he falls to make it even. The T's bloody and bruised getting into that site and getting beat up even more along the process as we go into the phase 2 retake now.
Energy going to do here. Ethan's been holding on to short B for quite some time, but he keeps getting blocked off by utility, so he has to keep kind of waiting. This is giving Cirque and Fugly a chance to start coming through. Graffiti Fugly just misses that one killing device. It was close. Ethan is good for the trade. Now it's the 2-on-2.
They need to get to that bomb. Katie, and they know his position. Ethan, excellent work. I mean, just very fast to come around that pillar side, jumping across the sandbags. But that's exactly what needed to happen. The bomb was getting down to its wary moments. You need somebody to make a play right there, and I think they're fortunate that both Ts were in a position that they were looking to get a CT to come around that corner, so it's an instant double peek against people that are holding angles. Instead, they just end up both losing the fight, and ends up the bomb goes down. Even if that one player, they just play 1-1 rather than a 2-1 peek, the bomb ticks down because they can't quite take care of that last player.
Yeah, I think the two big things to take away from that and how that went the way it did. First of all, Daps being able to stay alive, use utility to slow Rogue down and buy time for his team to rotate from A was big. He also got 2 kills before going down, which kept his team in the fight since Rogue were getting some nice entries onto the site along the way. And then the fact that Energy maintained short B control the entire time. So that allowed Ethan a way in on the retake that maybe he wouldn't have normally had. The terrorist is still holding on to that territory. So big stuff from Energy there to get a 1-round advantage heading into the second half of overtime. Again, it's a race to 19. It is the 10K start money rule set. Let's see what Energy has in store for us here in the first round. Looks like a lot of focus again on just controlling connector. 3 players here.
Guimon and Vice. Vice playing anti-flash on long A, and Guimon's out there too, but this early information, maybe 6 spotted them. Maybe not, because he throws a smoke and actually misses the target. So that smoke was of no use, so there's a flashbang out there in short as well. But NRG haven't even come through the blue doors. They're just baiting out utility for no trade of their own. So if this round continues to elongate and Rogue continued to apply utility liberally on the map, at one point NRG are going to be able to trade the last bits of Rogue's utility with single flashbangs, and then they can hold post with whatever utility they have left over as well. So NRG are sitting pretty as far as utility is concerned, and we got to remember they only need 2 more to tap it in, and they're done. Rogue need to be perfect here to win.
Yeah, we do see Energy starting to really get control here of the bottom of middle. A couple of their players. Banshee got left back over towards connector, however, and they won't really push on A. And Gamon actually might be able to slip behind Fugly here. Fugly's trying to maintain mid-control by himself and just kind of keep tabs on what the CTs are doing. Maybe put some pressure on A, hold them in place, not allow a third person to rotate B. But the focus is certainly on splitting the B monster itself, but Gamon could ruin all of that with his flanking.
Oh, he almost lost that fight. Fugly was turning around, and he should know that it's a B strike now with the position that he was in, and he was heading back towards B now. Ethan's in, working for the second one, but Hiko, like he was in the first half, being able to use Toxic Barrels to great effect, but Breezy, E2 Brute, killing his teammate, and it's only Breezy left. It could have been a 2-on-3.
Yeah, I think a lot of that round weighs upon the fact that Gamon's able to pick up on Fugly. Therefore, he gets the information to B play. Cadian had already rotated to be a third person at B. And the fact that Fugly got caught by Gamon made Cadian feel confident that he could just stay there and not have to worry about rotating back over to A to help out. So the positioning game was won by Rogue in the end, and they get the frags they need as well, and they tie this thing right back up, 17 apiece.
Yeah, NRG tried to get a late fake execute on that site, on A site, try and pull everybody off the B site, but the timing wasn't there. Cadian's down and connected, Vice out long. And he almost catches Breezy out with a grenade as well. Could have been a quick 1-2 punch, but Breezy was able to take cover. Now Guimon is out through party, and he too loses his life. Man advantage earned by NRG to punish the aggression for the CTs. Cadian's still out here. He's peeking out of the bathrooms. Looks like Breezy's opposing him now.
Cadian able to catch Breeze out in long A, and that equals things right back up to a 3-on-3. That's actually the bomb down as well. Cirque will be looking to try to come back and grab it. He does push Sick off and does reclaim the bomb. Fugly and Ethan taking control of short B. Hiko just playing B passively from Graffiti, so they might be able to get into this side as Cirque is rotating that bomb around, but Sick is on that flank, almost deja vu of what Gamon did last round, giving Rogue the advantage.
Ooh,
whoa, that was a headshot and a half.
Quick tap. He goes out of it. Oh, it's a shame. What did that smoke bounce off of? It doesn't actually clean up short. So Circle planted in the smoke as Cadian rounds the corner. He'll be coming across bridge, and he's able to catch Ethan there. So it's Sick.
Okay.
And Cadian alone.
That was some nice up-close opping from Cadian right there. I thought he might get caught by that first player. Really good work from Ethan to kind of bail Energy out, who were struggling after Sick got that flank through connector. But Cadian, the closer with the AWPs, had kind of an off game overall, I guess you could say, but that was certainly a big play. And now Rogue are 1 away from stealing Energy's map away from them. Overpass. Again, Energy was in the lead for a while there in the second half of regulation. Looked like they should have won it. I think they were up 14-10 at one point, for example. And now Rogue look to be in control. And they have their map pick coming up next on Nuke.
And Cadian was peeking across Fountain with his op. I don't think he saw the first player jump across into the playground, so a flashbang pushes him back. And right now your most advanced player for NRG side is going to be Ethan. Clear out connector and allow the guys to be a lot more comfortable coming into the bathrooms, which now they do. So mid control is to NRG because Rogue just going to give them that one. They've already secured second overtime comfortably, but this round dictates whether we go to that second overtime or not, or we go straight into Nuke.
And in spot stats going for the jump peek at long A, so knows at least one player is long A, but other than that, it's a bit at a standstill as the smoke is up. Gamon's playing behind, but certainly Energy are looking to knock on the door of this A-bomb site rather soon. They're setting up their utility as we speak. Cadian throws a counter incendiary in bathrooms, which might slow them down a bit.
Cadian somehow misses that. It looks on target. A little one-way smoke, but now smoke's coming into the site. Gamon is on this tight left angle. Oh, they missed the spray. Oh, they check it again, though. Daps recognizes it might not have been good enough, but still more.
What is with these team kills?
It's
like 2 rounds in a row.
It's all up 2-2. This could have been a lot better, but a lot of confusion with those smokes there. Bomb will be planted on top of Optimus' truck, and it is Hiko and Cadian. Cadian more than capable enough, just as we saw, and he sees the backside of Daps. Too much junk back there, and it is only Cadian going to have to really 1v2 clutch this one. He's down to his P250. Fugly peeking out wide, and Cadian with 2. Well, I mean, that clutch for sure, but the round prior might as well have been 1v2 clutch anyways. Teammate was off the mark, or not even on the site, and Rogue taped map1.
What? That's Cadian twice in a row, able to get some big kills, the 2 final kills of the round each time, despite having a slow game overall. He was a hero in the second half of this OT, man. Basically won 2 rounds, having the majority of the credit doing so. So definitely a shout out to Cadian. Definitely a very close game through and through. 8-7 has throughout regulation. Comes down to the very last round of the single overtime to solve it all. And in the end, you are going to have Rogue being your victors of map 1 of the series. Again, this is a best of 3, though, so we are going to see Nuke coming up next, which is Rogue's pick. And then if we need a third map, it will be Mirage. And again, the winner of this will be moving on to the grand finals later on this evening, where they will play the winner of our next semifinal, which is going to be Liquid taking on Torqued. So we're getting into, the nitty-gritty of this tournament. Again, it's a $16,000 prize pool, $10K for first place, $4K for second, and then third and fourth will both get $1,000 apiece. So everyone's in the money already, but obviously it's about getting that bigger paycheck as well as the pride of being the victors of the tournament.
Yeah, but this is so far shaping up to be a great match. Looking at it just from the orbital standpoint before the match started, I would figure NRG take this 2-0. But now that Rogue took the map off of NRG, I would say I think Hiko actually dropped a 30 bomb, given that 30 bomb does come to the back end of the overtime. But when you're able to frag that hard like the old days, it makes it a little bit easier, right?
Yeah, definitely some good stuff there from Hiko. Sick and Gamon also showing their worth. Pretty tight frag distributions across the board. Who you expected to perform on Energy did perform. Again, they were just a little bit short on a couple of rounds, and that's what made the world of difference. But folks, we're going to go to a short break. When we come back, we are going to bring you the second map of this series over on Nuke, so don't go anywhere. We still have plenty of CSGO to go today.